The concept of the Satanic New World Order (NWO) seeking to control humanity through the narrative of global warming is a complex and multifaceted topic. At its core, this ideology posits that a secretive, elite group of individuals and organizations are manipulating the global warming discourse to further their own agenda of domination and control. According to this worldview, the NWO seeks to exploit the fear and anxiety generated by the threat of climate change to impose a totalitarian, one-world government on humanity. Proponents of this theory argue that the NWO has infiltrated and co-opted various institutions, including governments, corporations, and non-governmental organizations (NGO) to promote the global warming narrative and advance their own interests. They claim that the NWO uses propaganda, disinformation, and manipulation to shape public opinion and sway policymakers into adopting draconian measures to mitigate climate change, which ultimately serve to consolidate the power and control over the population. One of the primary mechanisms by which the NWO allegedly exercises control through global warming is by promoting a culture of fear and guilt. By perpetuating the notion that human activity is responsible for a catastrophic climate change, the NWO creates a sense of collective guilt and anxiety, which can be leveraged to justify drastic measures such as carbon taxation, rationing, and surveillance. This, in turn, allows the NWO to expand its influence and authority as people become increasingly dependent on the state for protection and guidance. Another tactic employed by the NWO, according to this theory, is the use of Agenda 21, a United Nations UN initiative aimed at promoting sustainable development and environmental protection. Critics argue that Agenda 21 is, in reality, a Trojan horse for the NWO plans to establish a one-world government, as it promotes the concentration of power and resources in the hands of a few, while undermining national sovereignty and individual freedoms. Furthermore, the NWO is said to exploit the global warming narrative to advance its own economic interests. By promoting the development of green technologies and renewable energy sources, the NWO creates new markets and opportunities for its corporate ties, while simultaneously consolidating its control over the global economy. This, in turn, allows the NWO to dictate the terms of global trade and commerce as countries and businesses become increasingly dependent on its favored technologies and industries. The role of influential think tanks, foundations, and NGO, such as the Rockefeller Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the World Wildlife Fund (WWF), is also seen as crucial in promoting the NWO agenda on global warming. These organizations, often funded by wealthy elites and corporations, use their resources and networks to shape public opinion, influence policymakers, and advance the NWO objectives, while masquerading as charitable or environmental organizations. Despite the complexities and nuances of this theory, it is essential to approach it with a critical and nuanced perspective. While it is true that powerful interests often seek to manipulate public opinion and shape policy to their advantage, it is also crucial to recognize the genuine risks and challenges posed by climate change. Rather than attributing the entirety of the global warming narrative to a sinister NWO plot, it is more productive to engage in informed, evidence-based discussions about the root causes of climate change and the most effective strategies for mitigating its impacts. Ultimately, the notion that a Satanic New World Order seeks to control humanity through the narrative of global warming represents a complex web of conspiracy theories, speculation, and misinterpretation. While it is essential to remain vigilant and critical of the motivations and actions of those in power, it is equally important to avoid simplistic, paranoia-fueled explanations that distract from the genuine challenges and complexities of the issue at hand. By promoting a more nuanced and informed understanding of the global warming debate, we can work towards a more constructive and inclusive dialogue about the future of our planet.